Alright, what is up? This is SLOplays, and I am back at it again with another Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 discussion video. We're going to be talking about transformations. That is right, CAC Awoken skills for your custom character. There are going to be some major updates for this game, from the trailers that we've seen, right? Those two trailers that we got, the first initial one with the Project Age 1000 name, and then obviously the Xenoverse 3 announcement trailer, it actually showed a lot, okay? A lot of stuff that they most likely did on purpose to address some of the issues and things and concerns that we've had since Xenoverse 2 and even the first game, right? So the very first major thing is that Super Saiyan will spike up your hair. That's right, your hair's gonna change now, okay? If you guys know and recall from Xenoverse 1 and 2, that's been one of the, I would say one of the most major, criticisms for transformations, right? It's a very minor thing. Like, when you really think about it, it's like, okay, the hair spiking up, right? That doesn't, change the game to a significant point to where it's like, oh, the gameplay is going to be better or anything. But it's a nice cosmetic, appearance thing that will do a lot for us. You know what I mean? So the fact that our characters, when they would go Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan Blue, God, whatever it may be, the fact that the hair was just the same exact base hair that we selected and they just recolored it was really lame. Okay, that's the perfect way to describe it. It was the lamest shit ever, right? So when it came to Beast, for example, that in a sense did change our hair, okay? It wasn't what we were asking for, right? But it was a step in the right direction, right? The hair would change to the Beast hair, and obviously Super Saiyan 3 would still do that as well, because you can't be Super Saiyan 3 and it look exactly like your base form hair. That would be really stupid. But that kind of stuff is still really lazy. Okay, let's be real. Super Saiyan 3 giving you just Super Saiyan 3 Goku's hairstyle, and that's it, as well as Beast Gohan's hairstyle. That's it. It's literally just they slapped on a wig, but, some minor changes also would be the eye changes and all that stuff as well. And it seems to be the case right here, right? In that Project Age 1000 trailer, you have John 1000, who has the Chilai hairstyle, transform into Super Saiyan and get more of a future Gohan hairstyle, right? So that's awesome, right? That's awesome to see that we're going to be getting likely unique spiking hair with our characters. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't do that. Because, why are they showing it in the first trailer? You know what I mean? And I know this isn't gameplay, but the fact that they're showing it here would be some really major false advertisement if the game drops and we still are doing this base form recolor bullshit, right? So that's dumb. I hope that, and I have a good feeling that it's safe to say that we are getting the hair spiking for Xenoverse 3, finally, right? Because that has been a thing, I believe, Rhyme, if I recall correctly, when I was talking with him and we did that video, and he said this many times before, they did this whole thing where they went out to Bandai and they talked with the producers and developers and everything, and tried to give feedback on the game. And I believe it was Hirano-san, who was the producer of Xenoverse 2 and Xenoverse 1, and now he's the general games producer, right? That was the guy who was there, revealing all the information for, both trailers, right? So they talked to him and they were like, hey, why does the character hair not spike up when you go Super Saiyan? And he genuinely said that he didn't know that was something that was important for the characters, right? So they definitely, looks like they've taken that feedback as well as, among other things, to bring that into this game, right? Next major thing, okay? This one is huge. Saiyan tails. Okay, Saiyan tails that move, right? I can't confirm 100% if that's going to be the case or not, but as you can see right here, we do have a new Saiyan character, this punk guy with the pompadour and the earrings and everything. Doesn't really look like your typical Saiyan, but Saiyans come in all shapes, sizes, appearances, and all that stuff, so it's cool to see a Saiyan design like this, and it's a Saiyan because he's got a Saiyan tail. Okay, you can clearly see right there. One thing that is really odd about Dragon Ball, and I can't recall if it's only in Legends with Shallot. Shallot seems to be the only character, and I could be wrong about this, you can absolutely correct me if I'm wrong. He's the only character that has a tail color that is, matching his hair color, right? You can see right here that this guy clearly has blue hair, okay? But his tail is still brown. And that's the same, similar case with, what was it? GT Goku, right? GT Goku, he has, you know, obviously black hair. I mean, just Goku in general, right? Black hair. And I mean, for the most part, Dragon Ball has done this. Like OG Dragon Ball, like Goku has black hair. Okay, it's clear as day. But his tail has always been brown, right? Just like you know, like I guess every other Saiyan. So it's just odd that they go for that, right? Why that design is the case. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, right? But I don't know. I always just found it kind of odd that it's been like that, and why Shallot is the only exception. Because when he transforms and everything, the tail also changes color that matches the transformation. You know what I mean? So that's not a big deal to me. If it changes color, if it doesn't, I don't really care. I just want it to move, right? Actually have like physics going on, right? Because, you know, Super Saiyan 4 Goku and all these other characters that have tails that are in the base game, they move. So it's like, you know, by this point in time, they should have figured it out. Mods have done it for years. It's definitely a bit of a extra like process to get it working. I don't know if it's like Xenoverse 2 had limitations with the custom characters, but I should not see any limitations now. This is on PS5. This is, you know, a whole ass generation later. So it should be moving. And the reason why I'm bringing these two things up is because it goes into the whole thing with transformations, okay? Now, I did do a video going over this way before, right, the official reveal of Xenoverse 3, but we're going to, you know, circle back to this, and we're going to kind of match everything up, right, with the new updates on, you know, the trailers and stuff, right? So when it comes down to Saiyans, we have lots of great transformations, obviously. Saiyans are likely, to this day, still going to be the most played race in the Xenoverse series. Okay, when Xenoverse 3 drops, most people are picking the Saiyan. I'm likely going to be picking a Saiyan, depending on what races they add, you know, and all that stuff. I do not have the other races listed on here just because I don't want to jump the gun just yet if we're not potentially getting a certain racer, if we are. So I'll wait for that to come out, and then we can talk more about that, okay? I want official confirmation first, okay? Because at least right now, we know there's going to be some Super Saiyan hair spiking and some type of new updated Saiyan tails. And I don't know how that's going to work exactly with the Saiyan tails, if that's something that you could equip onto the character when you're doing the base foundation creation of a custom character, or if that's going to be an accessory, right? I would prefer it to be more like how they did it in Ultimate Tenkaichi, where it's like, you know, it's just part of Saiyans, right? And that's fine. I don't think many people would complain too much if, you know, Saiyans, like, just were kind of forced to have the tail. I'm not saying that's the case, but, I mean, I would rather have a Saiyan tail that, you know, makes my character look unique compared to a human, because Saiyans and humans look identical. They're exactly the same. There's nothing really different about them, right? Other than the fact that they can transform to other forms, right? So a moving tail would entail, you see what I did there? All right, I'm gonna shut up. Super Saiyan 4, right? A moving tail equals Super Saiyan 4, right? That would make sense. And again, you don't need a moving tail to be able to become a Super Saiyan 4. That's not like a necessity. For example, GT Vegeta, Blutz Waves, okay, made him transform into a great ape. Like, just, you know, I guess, could you say artificially? Not really, because, I mean, it's still his DNA and everything, but, like, they forced the transformation on him instead of it naturally happening via the moon, right? So, the situation with Super Saiyan 4 is there would have to be... Okay, I don't want to say they would have to. I'm not like, oh, they gotta, you know, they need to have this or this game's gonna be garbage. But no, it's like, I would at least want, I would take one of the two. Okay, GT or Daima, right? Because we know there are two different versions, right? Very highly likely case that we get the Daima version. Okay, it would be awesome if we got both, right? Because they are kind of different. They are different, obviously appearance wise. But I feel like, and I've said this before, Super Saiyan 4 Daima is much more like physical melee based, okay? And then the Super Saiyan 4 from GT, I interpret that one now as being more like ki based, right? I like it. That's how I would do it. If we were gonna get both, what would be the, you know, dividing factor among these two, right? Have Super Saiyan 4 GT be the one that's ki based. It boosts the ki stuff, right? Anything that's related to ki-based skills, and then Daima would be more strike based, right? That in my opinion, that sounds, you know, reasonable, right? But give us one or the other or both. I don't care. Just give us a Super Saiyan 4. I'm cool with anything that they give us. At least I just want Super Saiyan 4, right? And we have breakers to go off of, right? Breakers is a great, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, it's a great foundation for how Xenoverse 3 is likely going to be when it comes to hair spiking, Super Saiyan 4, and other transformations, okay? Now, Super Saiyan Rose is a weird one, okay? And the same thing goes with these three, and that's why I kind of listed them down here. Rose, Rage/Wrathful, and Full Power Super Saiyan are very, very specific, unique transformations with specific conditions for specific characters, okay? It's similar to Beast, right? Because Beast Gohan, that's the only character that has the form, right? No other character can use that. But in Xenoverse 2, they made it so that they could, you know, any character could use it, right? It's a universal Awoken skill alongside Ultra Instinct, right? And just because only one character could use it doesn't mean that, you know, other characters can't achieve it. But Super Saiyan Rose is so specific, and it's got such a odd, like, condition, right? This is Goku Black, right? This is a character who is a Kai, right? Or I guess a Glin, in a sense, that swapped bodies with a Saiyan. And now when that Saiyan transforms, they get the rose hair. Okay, it's weird. And then the manga makes it even, like, there's a difference between the manga and how the anime did it, right? Like, oh my god, dude, it's kind of a mess, I'm gonna be real. But this is a video game, so the coolest part about a video game is that there's no logic, okay? And this kind of also goes into the thing where I was like, okay, it would be kind of cool if there was a way to do, like, you know, mixing races in a way, right? And again, it doesn't have to be some, like, breeding shit or whatever. It doesn't, like, that's not, you know, people be like, oh, on my ass about it all the time about that. It's like, no, that's not what I meant. I meant the foundation of where this would come from is just the ability to have hybrid races. So it's like, you know, these exist, right? These are significant, you know, things in the series of Dragon Ball. They play a major role, is, you know, the mixture of races, right? You have Saiyans and humans. That creates a hybrid Saiyan human breed thing that is more powerful. I mean, I don't say more powerful, but it has got more potential, right? They've stated that several times throughout the series. That's why Gohan, Goten, and Trunks have so much insane potential, right? Why is Gohan at the age of, like, 4 so much significantly more powerful than Goku was, right? And it's because of that, you know, cross breeding shit or whatever the fuck it is, okay? So, like, I don't know if they would introduce something like that where it's like, okay, if you want to go the Super Saiyan Rose path, you're gonna have to, you know, do a Kai Saiyan hybrid thing. But even that wouldn't make sense because it's like, that's not necessarily what it is, right? It is specifically a Kai that swapped bodies with a Saiyan, right? so I don't know, dude. I don't know. But the same thing can go with Full Power Super Saiyan. Is it's like, maybe there's like a gacha type, not a gacha, but like, you know, RNG type of thing where it's like, oh, well, every 100, like there's a 0.01% chance that you can create a Saiyan that has the potential to go legendary or full power, right? Have like a Broly potential, right? Make it a very rare thing. That only would, in my opinion, that just adds more depth to the game, but absolutely not necessary. I think there would be a lot of people that would probably find that annoying as well, because they're like, well, I want to be able to just use the form, right? And it's Xenoverse. It's a video game again at the end of the day, so there doesn't have to be crazy logic with it. Most of the time they want to go with some logic and have some type of foundation that, you know, works off of the series. But sometimes they just don't give a fuck and they just do whatever. So I can't tell you if we would ever get these forms, right? But we pretty much should get every other form that we've had. So I'm talking we should get Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3, Future Super Saiyan, Super Vegeta 1 and 2, add in a Super Vegeta 3 if they can. That would be kind of cool as well because, you know, Super Vegeta is a different type of thing, right? It's a little bit different. You know, give us the God forms. We have God, we have Blue, we have Evolved Blue, and then we also have Ultra Instinct, right? So, yeah, just give us everything and alongside the Beast transformation as well and keep that universal. And I'm happy as long as, if they just add Super Saiyan 4 and that's it, and maybe like a grade 8 form if they want to get a little bit crazy with it, right? I would be fine with that. Like, we have a lot of forms. Saiyans have a lot of forms, y'all. Like, we don't need to have a million more added on top of it. I wouldn't complain, but I'm just saying, like, if we don't get Super Saiyan Rose, Rage / Wrathful, or even Full Power Super Saiyan / Legendary, dog, I'll be fine, man. I'll be fine. It would be nice. Don't get me wrong. It would be nice because Rose can be unique. In the combos, give you a Keyblade. That would be awesome. Full Power Super Saiyan. Again, kind of make it very, very like brawlic melee based, strike based and shit. Or you can do a mixture of things. I don't know how it would work, but those are just ideas, right? Okay, moving on to the Frieza race, okay? There's not a ton of them that I can really go over that would be, you know, make sense for it. But, I mean, hey, a lot of people have asked for this for years. We've only gotten the Turn Golden as a transformation, right? And that's great. That's a good, you know, that's perfect for a game like this. It's a new, you know, form. It's something that Frieza can use, and I mean, cooler in Dragon Ball Heroes, right? So yeah, they did a good job with that, and I'm glad that they did it. It was very easy for them to do. It's mainly, for the most part, recolor of, you know, that's what a lot of these are. They're just like recolors, right? Or like, oh, make them bigger, right? But first form, second form, third form, and a fourth form would be very nice. Again, I don't know if they would go that crazy with it, but it's not unreasonable to do, right? Because we have a foundation of how these would look. A first form, you start out, I mean, when I say first form, that wouldn't be like I don't think that would be really a transformation, because what is the base, what is the foundation of the character that you have, right? Is that just, we would consider it a first form, or is it fourth form, right? I would say that that's our first form, right? So we would start out looking like this at our foundation, and then we have our second form, which just makes you bigger, maybe gives you, you know, I guess, bigger horns in a way. If they would, I don't think they would do that. It would just make you bigger, right? And then we got a third form, which gives you the fucking dickhead, you know, the alien design. And then fourth form, I would appreciate it if we got the cooler version, right? Cooler's fourth form is the best, in my opinion, right? The like glowing red eyes and the weird like mouth guard thing is sick, right? Nothing against Frieza's fourth form, but Frieza's fourth form is just very generic and plain, and it's like kind of already something that you can make. I mean, you can kind of make all of these, right? Depending on the head. So it's like, I don't know if they would actually do this. I threw in black transformation on here as well, because we already have golden. I think there is a good chance that would be like a DLC update, because I don't know, man. I don't know how long Xenoverse 3 is going to last. I'm going to assume at minimum another 10 years, but I'm just going too far into the future. So I just kind of have that at the bottom as, you know, kind of like with Rose, Wrathful, and Super Saiyan is like, it probably won't happen, at least anytime soon, but maybe one day, okay? Now we're moving on to Earthlings, right? Now, again, this kind of goes with the Android thing. There's speculation that the guy in the car with the sunglasses and the earring and the long Android 13 hair, speculation is that might be an Android race, right? Don't know if that's actually going to be the case, okay? But Earthlings are pretty fucking lame. Not gonna lie. Nothing against, you know, y'all Earthling players out there. Shout outs to y'all. Y'all, you know, that's a very interesting, you know, choice, and you guys were definitely different, trying to be different with it, and I appreciate that. I respect that, okay? But Power Pull and Nimbus, right? I'm gonna be honest, that's cool. That is cool, but it kind of is a shit. Awoken skill, kind of ass, I'm not gonna lie. But it's a cool idea. I like that. I like that, you know, they had to give something unique to Earthlings. And what's the only other thing that you could really do is max power, right? Now, Android, that's not a transformation, right? I just put that on there with the idea like, okay, well, because Earthlings, Androids and Earthlings are like that. An Android is considered an Earthling, right? You know, they're not aliens necessarily, unless it's like a bio-android that has alien DNA. So it's like, I don't know. Would you consider that an Earthling? I don't know. But I listed that on there just because I wanted to give Earthlings some more transformations. Maybe they could do the man-beast transformation, right? Something like that. And your character would like turn into fucking Bergamo or some shit. I don't know. For all you furry motherfuckers that like that shit, right? I think that would be cool though, like a werewolf type of thing. I don't think they would get that crazy. Okay, this is all like stuff that is like trying to give more depth to the game, but it's not something that it like is to be expected, right? That's just like ideas. These are all ideas, right? So, I mean, we've seen it, right? We've seen it in OG Dragon Ball. There was a character, I forgot if they gave him a name or not. And I can't remember, was he in a tournament? Something like that, where the dude was like a beast / werewolf type of guy, and then, you know, he just, you know, eventually turned back into a normal human, right? So, I don't know if they would do that. If we got a max power, that would be fine. Max power is a transformation that is kind of universal as well, right? Any character can have a buffed up Saiyan form, right? And the same thing with like Super Saiyan transformations and stuff like that. Like, I know we have Super Vegeta. They could do Super Saiyan grade 3 if they wanted to, and all that really is it just makes you buff. That's it. That's basically the max power version for Super Saiyans in a sense, right? Not really, because it slows you down like a motherfucker, but yeah, max power with it, we're talking Roshi's max power, right? So Android shit, you can disregard that and, you know, say, oh, that's boom, we're going to do that as a new race, okay? Now, Namekians will have significant shit that they should be adding at this point in time. The fact that we got Beast and not a Power Awakening or Orange transformation doesn't make any damn sense to me, right? I think more than anything, Orange would make the most sense as being like almost like the counterpart to Beast, right? But give it for specifically Namekians, okay? And I guess you could say, oh, well, I can, you know, put Beast on a character that's a Namekian and just recolor them to orange and then just give them the Beast because it gives you red eyes, right? But it's like the aura's not the same and the appearance is just not the same, right? Would they get lazy with it? Maybe, but I feel like there could be a possibility that they get a little bit fancy with it and give us what we really want when you transform the Power Awakening in orange and make it look like how Piccolo does it, right? When Piccolo goes Power Awakening, he does get bigger. He does get a little bit larger. And his neck, okay, and his traps definitely get thicker as well, right? So that is an appearance change that is, you know, ideal and specific to Power Awakening. And then obviously with orange, you're huge, right? You know, you get the orange skin, the red eyes, the more chiseled, I'll say chiseled, but the Giga Chad jawline, right? And then a major trait is the fact that the antenna point up, right? Of course, they would have to do that because, you know, the more things that go up, that means that equates to higher transformation, right? So when your hair goes up, that means you're more powerful in a sense, right? Super Saiyan 3 might be the exception with that, right? But yeah, you get what I'm saying, right? More longer hair equates to more power, less eyebrows. Yeah, let's go. Okay, but yeah, I digress. That's how I would do it with Namekians. Don't really see anything else that's needed. If they can just give us at least orange, I'll be happy. Now, Majins, again, this could be more of a body type, okay? The fact that they give us a purification that gives us the Kid Buu transformation is awesome. Now, we could replace a super, you know, transformation, which would turn your character lean and buff, right? But not necessarily Kid Buu, because that's just like, they copy-pasted Kid Buu and they just made the color of the Kid Buu the color of, you know, the Majin that you created. So, I saw the vision. And I appreciated that they gave them an Awoken skill that's unique to them. That's cool, right? I like that. But I would love to have a lean, you know, buff version of our Buu character, right? If they want to do a body type with it and then give us absorption as a transformation, I think that'd be kind of cool. Now, how would absorption work necessarily? Obviously, it would be like just copying the clothing and abilities of the character that you're fighting. But at the same time, how would that work? Because that wouldn't really make much sense, right? It just doesn't really make sense. Because if you're absorbing the character is not there anymore, right? You absorb them, okay, in a sense. But maybe they could do it to where it's like, oh, it's like go-go gum and you throw it and it kind of like wraps around them or whatever. And then it absorbs and then you kind of like spit them out in a way. So it's like, oh, you get a little bit of, you know, a little taste of them in a sense, right? Do something like that. I guess that could work. I don't know. I talked about this before. I didn't really see many people talk about it. So let's get some discussion in the comments because you guys come up with way cooler concepts and ideas that would work better for this type of stuff because there's going to be more people watching this. So more people equals more ideas. Now let's go over the ones that, again, are not likely to happen anytime soon. One of them probably won't happen because, again, I don't really know how it would work. But yeah, Ultra Ego / a God of Destruction form thing. not unreasonable. This is, you know, kind of our counterpart to Ultra Instinct. This is Vegeta's new form. I think we will eventually get this as an Awoken skill via maybe a free update / DLC thing, because we finally have Mora's arc coming, okay? Don't know exactly when that's coming, but I think Xenoverse 3 will be around by the time we get to Granola. I personally believe that. I think it's reasonable to think that, so give us something like that. Awesome. Now, Fusion. Okay, Fusion is a huge, major thing, major hype and aura in the Dragon Ball series. So it would be interesting to see how they could do this, how they could pull this off, okay? Who are you fusing with? Are you only fusing with other custom characters? Are we doing a base foundation generic type of fusion thing where it's like, oh, maybe only Goku or Vegeta will come in during this, you know, Awoken skill? You've seen it with mods, right? I've done several mods where this, you know, Awoken skill, you just fuse with like Goku, for example, right? And that's it. That's the only character that you could fuse with. And it's just a way to give you fusion in a way as a transformation, right? I don't know how that would work. And I don't know if that would be even a good idea, right? But you guys can let me know down in the comments. I did come up with the concept that it could be something like Dual Ultimates, where it's like, oh, you do a specific input, and if that character also has the Fusion Awoken skill, or maybe they don't even need it, because you'll have both Batars, for example, or both fusion dance, you know, mechanics or whatever. There don't have to be a whole lot of logic, but you know, you get what I'm saying? So make it like a Dual Ultimate where it's like, oh, you have a specific window of time that'll tick down, and if somebody sees it and they time it right with you, y'all can fuse together, and it would do some like Dragon Ball Fusion's ass generator feature, right? If you guys have not played Dragon Ball Fusions, fantastic game, one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. It's got a cool feature called Street Pass Fusion, okay? And that was a 3DS function to where if you Street Pass with somebody who submitted their own Street Pass character, it would fuse together, and there would be an algorithm that would mix up the characters on a specific, you know, designs that they have. It would give them specific traits from each character, but it would always be the same type of formula for the most part. Like, if you fused with this other character, you would get their hair, but you would keep your pants, right? Or you would take their, you know, shirt, and you would keep your shoes in a way. So it would always be that same formula. So the fact that they could do that in a 3DS game, right, is pretty impressive. If they can't do that in a console game, then it's like, what the fuck, dude? So yeah, I don't think it's out of the question completely, but that's just how I would do it, right? I say how I would do it, and I don't even fucking know how all that shit works. Like, that must be a nightmare with encoding and all that stuff with development. I wouldn't know how to do that, but I would, you know, put my faith in Dimps that they could figure it out, okay? Because Dimps been around for a long time. They got some good people on the team making this game. So that's gonna be it for this video. I know it's kind of more like a regurgitation of a video that we already did, but I kind of wanted to, you know, combine this with all the stuff that we know now after that announcement trail. Drop a like, subscribe here on the channel, ring my notification bell, and let me know what you guys would like to see, because I'm sure there are tons of other transformations and things that you would love to see for your character added into Xenoverse 3. Peace out.
This is Broly, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet.